Thank you, Stacy. Had a really great 6 weeks, and I'm so glad I met so many friends, and I really learned a lot. The piece I'm reading is a short piece of fiction, and it's called Vera the Elephant. An 8,000-pound trick, a 3.5-meter Mona Lisa spectacle with lines and lines of admirers just outside the tent. Vera the Elephant was a narcissist. The applause of rows of people, their hands slapping above their heads, the children agape in her beauty. Vera loved it. She knew the show couldn't go on without her, that she was like Barbra Streisand on Broadway, like Kate Moss on the catwalk, or better yet, Elton John at the Grammys. She was the star. Without her, there was no show. A bunch of other lazy elephants maybe, but nothing worth watching. Those were the ones who talked about her behind the caravan when she was given extra peanuts for yet another fantastic performance. One can only imagine what they'd say if they found out she was actually getting macadamia nuts. Those are the elephants that stood around the trough, watching enviously as she scooped water into her long, slender trunk, releasing it down the soft slopes of her back and shoulders. They all glared at the whiteness of her tusks, the ivory something more precious than the rarest diamond. Her ears fanned at their jealousy, pitying them slightly for their lack of stage presence. When showtime came around and all the rest were still outside, the clowns and acrobats trying to scrub the mud out of the matted wisps of their tails, Vera was inside. She was backstage. She tilted her head left, right, double-checking that one side of her face wouldn't look better than the other, that both tusks, capped with metallic tassels, were the same length, that her round ears the same size. Her trainer, the ringleader, patted the solid mass of her shoulder, then blotted a glittery gold down the lowercase u of her trunk. Vera never got nervous before shows, not like the other elephants who just walked tail and trunk in the background. Vera lived for this stuff, lived for these shows. She waltzed onto the stage, a musician playing the flute on a velvet cushion that sat on her back, feathers perched high, a plume bouquet between each ear. The little girls and the little boys had their hands out, leaning over the ropes of the ring, trying desperately to reach the gilded blanket that hung from her sides. Though she typically ignored these grubby little people, Vera raised her trunk, blowing kisses to each of her new fans. She lifted herself up, her back legs supporting her entire sparkling body, as well as that of the flute player. A strut around the ring, one-footed balancing acts on a stool, a sliding yoga pose that let the flute player climb down seamlessly. Her show was flawless. She won them over again, again, again. But this was years ago. Vera the Elephant isn't as much of a narcissist now that the Krishna Dar circus has shut down due to the economy. She's not so full of herself now that she lives in the jungles of Sri Lanka, not a trailer with a star on the door, eating bark, eating roots. Vera's gotten used to her new life, but sometimes, late at night, when she looks into the gaping pond that fills the role of a watering hole, the galaxy that twinkles in her reflection reminds her of the glitter that dusted the folds of her trunk, and the hundreds of people that came each day to love, cheer, applaud her. Everyone knows that elephants cry.